Hi, I'm Dr. Deepa Parabu.
Hi, I'm Dr. Zander Kurtzer.
Hello, I'm Dr. Candice Armfield.
Hey everybody, Dr. Anjana Bana here, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we had a journal club meeting with a host of colleagues and friends. Sean and his colleagues from MCT, Sipla was here, and we discussed a lot of things. We discussed the ethical use of social media. There's some updated guidelines. We've discussed some GLPs as well as other drugs that are important in the cardiac and renal sphere. And we did something with photobiomodulation and thermoregulation on PRP and extracting exosomes from your own blood. So that was pretty exciting. So you're gonna see it in a couple of videos, not just one big video, and come along with me and watch it all.
Hello, I'm Dr. Candice Armfield, and I'm here today with Yusuf, who's interviewing me at
Again.
Dr. Bana's beautiful practice. And I believe he's got some questions for me, so go ahead.
Hi, I'm Dr. Deepa Parabu, and I am an aesthetic doctor based in Bryanston, Johannesburg.
Hi, I'm Dr. Zander Kurtzer. I'm a medical doctor and aesthetic physician in South Africa, in Gauteng mostly. I also work in the Free State, the Western Cape, and also in Mpumalanga. I've been doing this for the last 12 years, practicing aesthetic medicine only.
And we go way back. I've known Dr. Bana for more than 10 years, probably. We started in the same practice together where I was actually working as a GP and she was doing aesthetics. She's the first person to ever inject filler in my face, actually. And I used to inject, do drips for her patients because she obviously was not keen on putting drips in. So I would do the drips for her patients, and yeah, we worked alongside each other for a long time. And then we both kind of moved on and I started doing aesthetics as well. Yeah.
I know Dr. Bana for as long as I've been injecting. We met briefly at a few conferences and then we became friends and now we're besties.
Oh, for a very long time. I think since we've probably met at congresses from the get-go, and yeah, she's always been a wonderful lady. Someone to look up to and love to collaborate with.
Yes, very often we've got lots of patients on GLPs, not only for their weight loss properties, but we've had positive results in terms of cardiovascular outcomes, as well as energy, vitality. I promise you, patients feel so much better.
Yes, I do.
I don't, but I use it personally, so I have that experience. I'm a big fan. I think it's revolutionized the way we look at obesity and how we're going to treat it as a chronic disease.
So we recently were all in Cape Town for a huge launch of a product which is a GLP receptor agonist, and initially we didn't know what this drug was. This was a few years ago. I mainly practice aesthetics, and now obesity has become a huge issue with doctors, and I think every doctor needs to accept responsibility for treating obesity at this conference. That was the whole point of the conference, was to educate all doctors, specialists, cardiologists, orthopedic surgeons, aesthetic doctors, GPs, that obesity is a chronic condition and that GLP receptor agonists are available to help these patients.
So the newest information that we're getting out of studies, etc., is that obesity is a disease and we should actually be treating it lifelong. It's not just a case of, oh, you eat too much, you're fat, you need to lose weight. As harsh as that sounds, it's not that. It's because fat cells are metabolically active, there is a change in your body that happens as you are gaining weight. And unfortunately, it's a vicious cycle. So the GLPs are really great in sort of breaking that cycle and stopping that from happening. And at the end of the day, when you're obese, it's part of this thing called metabolic syndrome, which incorporates diabetes, high blood pressure, and really, really high risk for a lot of detrimental effects and early death, unfortunately. So we need to be proactive and treat obesity quite aggressively from the outset.
It's a big topic, but as a chronic disease, that is how it should be classified. Obesity is closely related to a lot of other chronic diseases, and most of all what we're seeing these days is your high blood pressure, your insulin resistance, a lot of cardiovascular issues coming with that, and then also translating into mental health. Cancer research is going to do with actual obesity as the primary cause of that. It's everything from fertility throughout the bank to cancer. So it is a big, big topic. And I think we all should really appreciate the fact that this is a chronic disease and something that should be managed and treated as a lifelong disease.
GLP receptor agonists have an impact on the skin, and therefore it is important to treat the patient holistically when the patient comes in for an aesthetic consult or a GLP consult, to address holistically what the patient's needs are. And there are body contouring devices, there are injectable treatments out to ensure that we walk this journey with the patient and that they build muscle, which is very important in the process of losing weight to their goal weight.
In my practice, I'm very proactive. If a patient is on a weight loss journey, they actually need to start rebuilding before they've actually lost anything. That's the way I like to look at it. So I love collagen biostimulators while they are still on the journey, so that by the time that they've lost their weight, that collagen biostimulator has already done its job. Because these things take time. They are not quick fixes. They take time to rebuild the dermal structure and also volume loss that happens. So if you do it before the weight loss happens, you see so much better results later on. And then obviously if a patient comes and they've already lost all the weight before I've had a chance to intervene, then we need to fill strategically. So volume loss in the midface, volume loss in the temples might require filler, but at the same time, we also stimulate the collagen production, because unfortunately we do see a lot of collagen loss in the dermis post GLP-1 use. But it's not unique to GLP-1s, it's unique to weight. It's weight loss in general. So if you are rapidly losing weight, your face will show it. Doesn't matter if it's GLP-1s or if it's a starvation diet, your face will show it, and we need to actually address the changes that happen on a case-by-case basis. But generally, collagen biostimulators and then fillers strategically placed in everyone's face in a different area.
There's no one treatment to say to cope with it, but I think to have the discussion with your patients about how we can preempt the eventual causes that will be anticipated with drastic weight loss, and manage it as it comes. So in the aesthetic field, it's the best to work proactive, that we can also work with the patient while they are in the weight loss journey. So anything from something that can build collagen, keeping the skin and the tissues from going into that over-lax state that will eventually come with drastic weight loss. I think that is one of the most proactive things we can do, working with the patient.
Thank you for joining me today as we had a journal club at the practice with lots of friends and colleagues. We discussed ethics in social media, the new updated guidelines, and we had supplier talking about affordable care in terms of renal, cardiac diseases and obesity, and cost-effective GLPs. On that note, GLP use, I can't use names, but I suppose I can use compound names like liraglutide, semaglutide, tirzepatide. They are widely used legally legally as well as, unfortunately, there's a huge problem of illegal use of these drugs. Some of them are compounded, and that use is actually illegal. And where I find the problem in my practice is not from responsible use of these GLPs, where a patient is put on a proper eating plan, sees a dietitian, gets enough protein and creatine, and works on their muscle mass. Where I see the issues is exceptionally fast weight loss and getting these substances from people at the gym, their hairdresser, don't know what's really in it, and excessive facial volume loss of that glow because of the loss of dermal white adipose tissue. So yes, I do see some issues in terms of, as they call it, widely out there Ozempic face, but I think that's from irresponsible use. So if you have any questions about what I'm talking about, what about the social media and the ethics about GLPs, you can drop them in the comments down below, like, share, and subscribe.